Hello everyone, welcome to the Fire Artisan channel. I'm Drew, and as promised, today we're going to be playing some Selesnya Adventure. So this list is a lot of fun. We tend to draw a lot more cards off the Innkeeper than in the Golgari version of this deck, or of this archetype really, this broader adventure archetype. So this deck in particular is very much modeled off of the build that Reid Duke was playing with in the MPL split, which was some time ago at this point, but still a very powerful deck. The only real changes I made to it were replacing Once Upon a Time. Those cards, or that card has been banned, and Reid was playing with 4 of them, which makes sense because it is a very powerful card. So I went ahead and replaced it with an additional copy of Flaxen Intruder and 3 copies of Conclave Tribunal, just because that card tends to work with our strategy of just spreading out really far on the board. So yeah, that sort of all-purpose removal can be pretty useful. Let's see, is there anything I want to say? One advantage of playing Selesnya, any type of Selesnya deck, is that Flourish is actually really strong. You actually get to cast Flourish more often than you would think, but mostly we're going to be using this for the flower part of it, just to fix our mana in the early stages of the game. And that can be really useful because it's easy to sort of get off to a rough start on the 2 colors. So this helps us mana fix to a large extent. I've also got access to some powerful Selesnya tokens cards like Imara, Trostani, and we are playing with 4 copies of March of the Multitude. So as the game goes on, this is very high impact spell, and the fact that you can play it as an instant kind of allows you to steal games out of nowhere. Otherwise, we just have a lot of small adventure creatures, which tend to have very useful little abilities. And yeah, so I'll show you the sideboard real quick. This isn't Reid's original sideboard, but it's pretty close. We've got some copies of Questing Beast to bring in against control decks, mostly to kill planeswalkers. It's not really to provide additional creature threats. Just the hasty planeswalker killing effect that Questing Beast had is the most useful aspect of it. Knight of Autumn is kind of multi-purpose. We'll definitely bring her in against artifact enchantment decks. Gideon Blackblade, really strong against control decks. Also not bad against even mono red, because he can give things lifelink. Glass Casket, Devout Decree. Basic creature removal. Devout Decree we're very high on just because there are a lot of Rakdos, Jund, and mono red decks around there, or out there. So it's important to have access to this one for us. And Soul Guide Lantern, to me, kind of feels like one of the only ways that we can succeed over the cycling deck after sideboard. So I like to have a couple of those. Plus, you never know when you're playing with... sometimes this card is really strong against control decks that are just playing with Elspeth Conquers Death. That card does become, as good as it is, that card does become a lot weaker against us, against a creature deck in particular, when they can't grab anything from the graveyard, or else it's like 5 mana to take care of 1 threat, which we are more than happy to play against. Well, you cannot ask for a better hand than this. I mean, maybe slightly land heavy, but we'll definitely be able to draw a ton of action with this Innkeeper. Looks like our opponent's on a mulligan, so life is pretty good for us so far. All right, here we go. I like to play this token first so that we can guarantee a draw for next turn, on the off chance that it's mono red and they play mountain and then shock. All right. This is Rakdos. think I'm going to start with the Flaxen Intruder, because there might be some utility in the giant killer. This definitely doesn't... Oh, wow, turn 2. You don't usually see that one out so early. No real reason, but... All right. I think I'm going to continue to wait on giant killer. And there's no attack here, so we're just going to pass. This deck can definitely tool on us a little bit if they just do the Witch's Oven, steal one of our creatures combo. It looks like they didn't really have a way to come back from that. Yeah. So, pretty easy sideboarding for us against Rakdos. Not sure about Lovestruck Beast. Seems like a pretty significant liability against their deck. But it is so good. Let's see. I don't know. Imara seems like a liability too. I'm going to take her out. Soulguide Lantern could be interesting. We'll see if they're playing with Lurrus, but I think until we see Lurrus or we see an escape creature, namely Kroxa, I'm going to not worry too much about that. So yeah, I'm thinking this is okay. We've got our Devout Degrees, we've got our Glass Caskets. Yeah. Yeah, Lovestruck Beast is sort of a liability, but it's also a really strong card, so it's hard to... It is a little bit hard to know what to do about that. This hand looks promising. Looks like they're playing with the priest, and wow, we have drawn a lot of these Innkeepers. So I'm leaning towards just a Glass Casket on the Knight. Interesting that they would throw that one out. I think that's what we're going to go with here. Devout Decree, play an Innkeeper. Yeah. Yeah, Giant Killer is actually kind of exciting because if we can play another Innkeeper next turn, then we're just going to be drawing a lot of cards. Of course, they are going to really pick apart our board. I'll keep one Innkeeper in the holster. Give me a Devout Decree. So March for 2 is an option. I don't think we're going to go with that, though. Actually, maybe we are. Oh. No, I can't do it now. I think I... Yeah, because I can't also declare them as blockers. All right. Play a forest. Want to Conclave Tribunal. Conclave Tribunal and then attack. Doesn't look like I'll be able to Conclave Tribunal and make a token this turn, so I think this is the play. We're going to leave the Innkeeper in the holster for now. Call of the Death Dweller. Well, maybe we will bring in Soul Guide Lantern. Yeah. Death Touch and Menace. It's definitely a problem. Obviously, I'm not thrilled to have this Innkeeper killed almost immediately, but it just feels like I need to get closer to some kind of removal. Wow. Definitely bringing in those Soul Guide Lanterns. Yeah. I don't know if I want to do this. I think actually it is important enough to do this. So he just picks apart my whole board. Yeah. Should have seen that one coming. That seemed like a pretty obvious play. All right. Well, we won't fall for that again. That was some poor playing on my part. Poor sideboarding, too. I think it should have been pretty obvious to bring in the Soul Guide Lanterns. I don't think we need the Conclave Tribunals, given how much removal we already have. Questing Beast does seem pretty good, though. Yeah. Yeah. It feels like if we, like, this is a winnable match. Yeah, seems like a pretty solid hand. I don't know, I mean, considering I have a Knight of Autumn, I don't think I care that much about killing the cat. So I think I'm just going to wait on the Devout Decree. All right. So hopefully that'll slow them down some. Still not really a great attack. But now we can use the Devout Decree for something a little bit better than the cats. Like that guy. I think we've got plenty of lands. Yeah, I mean, answering that Mayhem Devil was essential. I mean, that was just going to win them the game. I mean, that card is so good against us. Yeah. I don't really see any reason to play this Innkeeper out. We have March for 3. All right. I think we're going to go for it. Wait, what's going on here? I think we'll take that. Trostani's not bad. So we can't tap this turn. So I think I'm just going to go in for the attack. And continue to hold on to the Innkeeper. Yes! Yes! We did it. Alright, yeah. Some poor playing in the second game, but what a horrible triple block. I don't know what I was thinking there. That sacrifice thing was right there. Maybe we'll finish off with one or two best of ones here, just to get more of a sampling of the matchups. I do like the ability to sideboard. That seems important. And hey, we beat the Rakdos Sacrifice deck. That's no easy task. I mean, that is probably the deck to beat in the meta right now. It's either that or Jund Sacrifice. Yeah. I mean, the cool thing with Flourish is that I think you can keep a hand like this. Which is obviously otherwise totally unkeepable. Desperately want an Innkeeper. Okay. Think we want to fill out the board here. We'll draw the Innkeeper later. But we kind of want to play out. I think we want to play we mostly want to play out our hand like we're a white weenie deck. Just because Loxodon is likely to be on the way. Got a lot of spells to get more value on our creatures. Okay, so I think we attack Lovestruck Beast this turn. Just to put some pressure on them. We can Faerie Guidemother the Lovestruck Beast. That could be pretty good. All right, Glass Casket is disappointing there. Drew a Giant Killer. Huh. Do we want a Conclave Tribunal their Glass Casket? We don't really have enough white to do everything that I want to do here. Because I want to play the Faerie Guidemother, Gift of the Fae, and Giant Killer, and Conclave Tribunal. So 2, then 1. Yeah, that's actually fine. I think we're going to do this. I don't really want to commit too much to the board yet. All right, really looking to draw a land. That would be huge. Or an Innkeeper. That's not bad. But we're not going to draw cards with Narset down. All right. So let's Conclave Tribunal on Narset. And draw ourselves a card. Yeah, we're really just looking for that 5th land. Elspeth conquers death on our tribunal. Yeah, well, that's pretty powerful. Fortunately, they don't have Absorb up anymore, so we can land our big threat. Wow. Unbreakable Formation. Is that better than Trostani? No, it's probably more important to land Trostani this turn. Okay, so I want to make sure Narset's dead no matter what. Rest of the damage at the player. They could get her back with Elspeth Conquers Death, but I don't think we can let them get another card in case they really need to, in case they don't already have some kind of board clearing spell in their hand. That's obviously how we lose this game. The shields are very much down here. Another Elspeth Conquers Death. Yeah. I mean, as painful as that is, it's actually not that bad. Wow, this could just be game. So they've got 1 mana. I think this is lethal, right? We've got 7 creatures. They can block 1. No. It's not quite lethal. It's very close to lethal. Yeah. I think we go for it, though. I think it's better than the Loxodon. Do we also play the Loxodon? I think the answer to that is no. Because I think the only way they survive is... I don't know. No, I think the answer to that is no. Because the only way they survive here is by clearing the board. They get another look with her. Loxodon just makes it so that it's even worse for us. I mean, I guess we do draw the card on Shadow the Sky. This is the exact kind of matchup where you really need Questing Beast to win the game sometimes. That would obviously be the best card coming off the top of the library here. Shark Typhoon is not what they need. I guess they can cycle it for another look. Yep, they're going to do that. They must Shadow the Sky here. That's a good game. That is how a lot of these control matches line up against us. Like, can they clear the board? What's going on with that? To what extent can we recover from board clearing? Yeah. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. I think that's all I'm going to do for today. I've had some success here, so I don't really want to push my luck and go into too many more games. But yeah, overall, I've had some success with this deck, and you know, where it's been difficult, like it feels like I've had a chance. Like I think this deck is still competitive with the right sideboard, and there's definitely a case for just main decking some of these Questing Beasts. I was definitely doing that for a while back when I used to be playing this deck, but it does take away from the white weenie energy of the deck to take that approach. So I also like them in the sideboard. Another option that some people have taken with this deck that I'll just mention is they'll bring in planeswalkers like Vivian Arcbow Ranger and do the Golgari approach of having her as a different kind of threat. It adds a little bit more removal to the deck. It buffs up the creatures. You know, she survives board clearing, things like that. And she obviously has good synergy with Questing Beast. So that's another option. Lots of options in this green-white archetype. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to subscribe and have a good one. I will see you in the near future.